Well, greetings and salutations, and welcome to You Ought to Know, the podcast where we dive into all things automotive, while with the goal of being educational, enlightening, engaging, and if none of these, at the very least, entertaining, and today should be entertaining. I'm Mike Urban, the host and owner of Urban Automotive in Oakville, Ontario. Whether you're a fellow shop owner, a client, or someone simply curious about the world of cars, welcome to the show.
The show.
Today I couldn't find anybody, so I had to drag up my senior tech and shop foreman off the floor.
Yeah, I was at the bottom of the barrel.
Kind of a slow day. Mr. Drew Douglas. Welcome, Drew.
Thank you.
So you ought to know how a veteran mechanic feels about electric vehicles. I think that's what we'll call this episode. But before we dive fully into it,
Veteran and EVs are just starting out with shots.
Let's shots fired, my friend. Shots fired.
Yeah.
So a little bit of history. Mr. Douglas started with me Holy Thursday. Do you remember that?
Yeah, so when I dropped my box off.
It was Holy Thursday.
Yeah.
And it was a holy day for the guy you replaced because his box was rolling out the next day.
Yeah.
On Good Friday. But we've been together.
Coming on 17 years.
Coming on 17 years in just a few weeks, buddy. And
time flies, right?
Time flies.
Yeah.
And Drew is a large part of the reason of Urban Automotive's success, so I want to state that publicly and openly. First and foremost, before we get into this, I highly, I hold this man in high regard, equal to a brother. He's helped build Urban Automotive on the basis of our combined beliefs of honesty and integrity with every service that we offer.
Mm-hmm.
What's best for the car, what's best for the client, and what's best for the shop.
And fixing it right the first time.
Fixing it right the first time, which means not firing a parts cannon, but...
No, I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
Yeah.
I don't like it either. So give a little brief history of yourself so people know that you are legitimate. And I'm not making this stuff up.
So I probably started busting tires and oil changes and that at a Canadian Tire, I'd say 89, 1990, around there when I was still in high school. Started working at the parts department. Actually, it was 89. I started at Canadian Tire. Started in the parts department. Had no intention of working on cars, working in the shop. Felt I wanted to do something different, like accounting or something. And
your dad was in finance, right?
no, my dad worked in the systems department at Royal Bank. He was in the.
I knew it was at a bank.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
Yeah. No, he worked.
some more IT.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And no intention of doing this, and then started working back parts and seeing how the stuff's going in the shop, and got a little curious. Always liked to putter and tinker and play with things and all that, but got more of the want to go out and give it a try in the shop, and really, really liked it, and wanted to pursue an apprenticeship and become a mechanic.
Awesome. And you liked Lego.
Love Lego. I even love Lego now.
That's important.
I even love Lego now.
I love Lego too, buddy. And I tell people that are looking to get into the trade, if I'm not sure if it's for me or not. And the bottom line is, let's start with the basic fact. Do you like to build Lego?
Yeah.
Because if you can handle Lego and building the different sets or just creating something on your own, you're going to do okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to do okay.
Yeah.
So, in 17 years, we want to talk a little bit about our apprentices out there and the lack thereof, and trying to gain some knowledge and wisdom to the young up-and-comers out there that are looking to get into the trade. I'm going to a show tomorrow with Mohawk College, and I'll be talking to a lot of young individuals that are in the program that's looking to see if they are interested or not into the automotive field. So when we think about apprentices and apprenticeships, let's start with how your apprenticeship went as a young man 30 plus years ago.
Well, my apprenticeship started. I was more on the back burner because I really liked the guys that I worked with. There wasn't really a spot open at the time, so I hung in there to get an apprenticeship where I worked at and all that. But I mean, you're doing everything, all the grunt work that people don't like doing now. You know. But back then, we got a lot more. Again, the work, like say doing brake lines and that. Give all the junk work to the apprentices, and that's how you learn. You know, whether
You were in a flat rate shop, right?
working in the flat rate shop, yeah. So that's kind of like how back then you could base the pay for apprentices off a flat rate system and that, but it wasn't full hourly and it wasn't full flat rate, but it was more of a hybrid system.
And for those that don't understand the term flat rate, it's used still in a lot of dealerships where there's book time, which dictates how long the job should take. Of course, using new vehicles and new equipment and having all the equipment there. And if you can circumvent the system, figure out shortcuts and make things easier, or as you do it, it becomes easier. You can really crank out a lot of work and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Our shop has always been hourly and is hourly, which is completely different from that system.
Yeah.
And that means that regardless of how long it takes to do the job, the tech gets paid for the job, and that circles back around to our belief in doing it right the first time. So the job takes what the job takes, but the book time is the book time, and the customer generally pays what is the book time is.
Yeah.
So it's just a better system for, as far as I'm
control.
concerned, for quality control. Exactly right. So sorry for jumping in there.
Yeah, no.
But you're so you're with Canadian Tire.
Yeah. Left there, went to work at another shop there. It was more me trying to get my license. And back at the time, every younger kid, thinks they know everything, thinks they know what they're doing, thinks they're ready for this. Not just me. I'm sure it would have been you. And because I see it in these guys down here now, I'm ready for my license. And it's, you're kind of not. But, you know, like you don't really know until you spend a few years in it, you know, how much. And even when I was licensed and after I got my license, it's like, yeah, like, so put it this way. In this trade, you need to learn something new every day. And like, if you're not learning something new every day, it doesn't matter if it's regards to the trade or not, you've wasted a day. You need to always be learning, because you will never, ever know everything that's out there. And as long as you keep, you know, a modest and humble attitude towards it, that you don't know everything, then you will be ahead. As soon as you start thinking you know everything, that's when you start falling behind.
I do have to jump in and say that in 17 years of working with you, I've never brought a vehicle into the shop that I didn't think that Andrew Douglas could fix. And I know that there's a difference between confident and cocky, and you have self-confidence, and you still need to work on that, because I believe in you, I think, more than you believe in yourself some days as well, honestly. But it's important for people coming into the trade to understand the difference. Being cocky and thinking you know it all and then gloating about it is far different than being humble, learning and doing and proving it. You know, the old saying that it's better to be quiet and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and prove it. As I host this podcast, what can I say?
Yeah.
But honestly, it's to see you work and to see you do your tasks at hand and take these young guys and gals underneath your wing, and you're not always popular, being the shop foreman.
I'm not here to be popular or to be people's buddies.
But I think that anyone that's worked with you and works with you now or has worked with you in the past can honestly say that, you know what you're doing, and you always have the best interest of the shop at heart and the individual at heart. And it's not doing the work for them, it's showing them how it's done and then expecting them to do it.
It's to make everybody better. I mean, if I could make all the youngers down there, better by how you approach a job, how you do a job, how you make sure it's good at the end. Road testing after verifying your work, then it makes them better. It's going to make our shop better. It's going to make our reputation better. Because I know a lot of people out there think, with all of our reviews online, 5-star reviews, I'm sure a lot of people think it's all crap and all that, but I'd like to think that, they're genuine and all that, because we do go the extra mile.
They are
to
genuine.
make sure everything's right.
Every single one is not generated by AI or anything like that. Those are reviews over the past 23 years coming up in August that we've earned. And honestly, we want people to feel more than just a number, and that's right in our mission statement. We want them to feel part of our family, and that's how I've always run the business. That's how I'll always continue to run the business. And it's not all shops are like that. It's important. The shop has to make money, but at the same time, losing a client or a customer over a few bucks and then getting a bad reputation for them to be able to talk about you at the Thanksgiving table or the Christmas dinner table with the family is just not something that I've ever wanted. It's much more important to have people believe and understand what we are all about. And we're looking out for the best. So with young people looking to get into the trade, our trade has changed.
It's changed a lot.
Since you and I wrote back in the day and went to Mohawk, because you went to Mohawk, right?
Yeah. Up at Fennel, and learned a lot from there. A lot of good instructors and all that. And it's there's sayings like those that are truly learning, have the mouth closed and the ears open, to always listen, to take in what you can.
I thought you were gonna go with those that don't know teach.
No, because I've had some teachers that know an awful lot, and they do teach, and you want to listen to what they have to say. So but I mean, like every little bit of info that you can pick up, because again, as soon as you start thinking you know it all, that's when you start falling behind.
Right, and let's go into a little bit of how the industry has changed. Things like the introduction of TPMS sensors.
Yeah, that started back in the late 90s there when Ford was having their issues with, the expired tires and the tires blowing out and that. And it's, again, just more safety features. And everything that's coming on the car is more generated towards safety between the, say adaptive cruise, collision avoidance, TPMS sensors, the check engine lights. They come on for hundreds of reasons, if not thousands, with all the codes.
Loose gas cap?
Loose gas cap. Yeah. That's your
Probably
fault.
a loose gas cap.
Yeah.
That must be what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like everything in the pursuit of better fuel mileage and safety for the vehicle. But I mean, with more bells and whistles come on the car, more modules, more wiring, and ultimately more problems.
I think those that are interested in having something different every day and not having the same mundane routine and want to get into a trade, the automotive industry at an independent repair shop is probably best for them.
The independent repair shop, I think, is going to start being a lost art, because
that's for sure.
There's techs that want to stay at one manufacturer. Like say if they just want to go to Honda, you're working with one make, 4 or 5 platforms, basically same drivetrain, but it just stays on the one make when there's however many makes, models, and all that on there. Every manufacturer will do something a little bit different on it, and we kind of need to know how it is. It's having the idea of how all the other manufacturers design, build, and how their systems work. It's getting more and more complicated, where we have to rely on the reference info or shared information and this and that, because again, we can't know everything. We can have a pretty good idea of how it all goes and stuff if we get repeated issues and all that, but new problems that come out and all that. We don't have the backup that, say, the manufacturers do at their dealerships, where they have shared info clear across all their dealerships across the nation about issues they've had and what
they've
the
got a
fix
parts
is.
department.
Yeah.
So they can just go grab the new part, plug it in, and say, "Oh, that fixed it."
Yeah. Fire off the parts cannon.
I worked at GM. I mean, that was the best thing, was having the parts department right there. Walk up and say, "I need one of these. Give it to me. Let's try it."
Yeah, it's a big difference between diagnose and diaguess.
Exactly, exactly. And there's that parts cannon again
Yeah.
we talked about, right? Like just firing it off.
I've known guys that have gone out to cars in the parking lot and pulled cars out of their parking lot to put on cars, see if that fixes the issue.
Well, what gets done, whatever it takes to get it done, I
Whatever
guess,
it takes,
right?
you've got the resources there.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But for reference, I had a friend cover you off in the early days when you first started with me. And you were gone, I think, for 2 weeks out east. And he came to keep the business running with me. And he worked at Chrysler. And he came after the 2 weeks. He just said to me, he says, "I have a total new respect for Drew, and being able to do this on a daily basis is because I don't know how the hell he does it. Like, because even though cars are generally the same, they operate the same, they have the same functionality and the same systems, they're different. Mm-hmm. So like Mercedes is different than Chevy, and Mini is different than Hyundai. Like it's definitely a challenge, and
they all have their different roots, different engineers, different thoughts and ideas on how things should be designed and worked.
So what keeps you sane? Let's talk about that a little bit. What keeps you sane?
I don't drink, so we can't say that.
I don't know how you don't drink, but I drink. I think I drink for you, but I also own the place.
I think it's more my faith, and that is more on how you approach things and what you choose to let bother you and what you choose not to let bother you. So it's like when you leave the door here, things stay here. Just, yeah. There's a lot of good in the world, and you don't have to bring in the bad.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, I have my faith as well, but I go to confession regularly. Let's just say that. Just because I'm just, yeah. Anyway, because, again, when you come in, we have a vehicle that has a problem. It's been brought in to diagnose, and you have to figure out that problem, what the issue is. And it's like hunting for a needle in a haystack in some cases.
Yeah, lots of cases it can be. And it's more of how you approach it. You can't go into full panic mode. Get as much info as you can about the problem, and it's more your starting point in your approach on how you're going to take it on. You know, whether it's an electrical problem, okay, like give it a health scan, make sure all the modules are communicating, because you can have one issue with one module, but it's more because of a previous module in the line that's not communicating. It's not going to pick up the other module, or it's just, it'll give you issues. You need to be able to look at the whole picture on what's going on.
Right. And sometimes those diagnostic charts and the flow charts don't always help.
No.
Because all it takes is one mouse chewing a harness, chewing a wire somewhere, one wire being corroded somewhere down the line, or a module or connection, fuse block, whatever, having moisture in it. Remember the Katrina cars? There's a great story.
Yeah.
The Katrina cars.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have a bunch of things that aren't working right and all that, and then you start, okay, like, again, do a health scan, see what's hiccuping in there and showing the most faults. Go look for where that's at, and it's usually in the lower end or near, say, some of the pillars where you get some water intrusion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the Katrina cars, we had Hurricane Katrina go through the U.S.,
Yeah.
And at the time, the Canadian dollar was higher or almost on par to the U.S. So we had a bunch of Canadian wholesale dealers buy up these U.S. cars cheap, bring them up to Canada. And then we had, I think, 3 of them at least come through the shop that had major issues that we didn't realize until, like, it was a year after or a year and a half after. I remember the Mini Cooper that we had that had the whole fuse panel
Yeah, the footwell module.
The footwell module, exactly right. That we lifted up the carpet and it was just completely corroded. And then when we did the history, the research traced it back. The vehicle was from the U.S. and it was a Katrina car that had been in the hurricane, in the floods, gotten completely soaked, and was resold and moved up here. And were chasing our tail trying to find the issue with this, and then it was a case of
Look for the green.
let's just start pulling things apart, and took apart the interior, and sure enough, right here is where the nightmare was. So it's you've had some real interesting vehicles as well, eh? Do you have any favorites?
I try to block those out.
Well,
of
I know,
my
but
head.
I like to remember them, because then I'm like,
you call favorites, I call. Let's tuck those away and shove them deep down inside where we don't remember them.
I think my favorite of recent at this shop was the Mercedes, the wagon that we had. That
With the turbos?
No, it was the engine that sat for a year.
Yeah.
We had one of the pistons, I guess, let go.
Yeah, it's like a wrist pin let go, the engine locked up.
And it was a known issue. It was a known issue through Mercedes, but they wouldn't warranty it for the customer. And because he had, I think, just over the mileage for warranty. So it was like 160,000 K, and they're like, no, we're not going to warranty it. And then we had to try to source an engine for this vehicle, which sounds pretty simple because, hey, Mercedes, 4-cylinder turbo, simple. What's your problem, guys? Should be easy. No, because it was a wagon with the all-wheel drive, it had a different drivetrain for whatever reason for this specific model, and I don't recall the model. It doesn't matter. It was a 2019. And it took us months to find, because we could have gladly bought one from Mercedes, and they were happy to sell it to us.
It was about 30 grand.
$38,000. Yeah. Almost the value of the vehicle. Like, what do you, like, no. Like, that doesn't include the labor to install it. Yeah. So we ended up finding one in the U.S., and it was the Deep South. I think it was Memphis, Tennessee, that I found it, and told the client, look, if you want to take your chances, I'm telling you right now, write this car off, get rid of this vehicle, count your losses, and just don't ever buy Mercedes again. And he's like, no, I just can't do it. I want to get this car back on the road. So I said, if you buy the engine from these guys and have it shipped up, because you got to pay for the engine, you got to pay for shipping, you got to do all that, we'll install it, and, you know, count your luck, because this vehicle, it had showed up on the radar because I had asked all of the local auto recyclers to keep an eye out for this engine, and it came up on the screen on a blip because the car that had the engine was in a catastrophic collision. So it was like, well, this car was completely had a front end impact, and, you know, if you want this engine, you can. It's the only one out there. So we reached out and we ended up getting this engine. The client paid, I think, 15 grand for the engine and shipping and everything to get it up to Canada. And then once we got it, was it in pristine condition? Because it only had like 20,000 miles on it.
Yeah, maybe internally, but because of the front end collision, I think the oil pan was cracked. Had, you know, some cracking on the timing cover. We had to transfer over a lot of the parts. Actual
pictures are in our YouTube channel. We did a video on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was, again, if you want to become a tech,
yeah,
this is what it's all about. And I compared that to Lego. I said, come on, Drew, it's really Lego. And I know you love that when I come down.
Yeah, it's always easy. Yeah.
And I say, like, that's only 6 bolts.
It's
like,
only easy when you're getting the other guy to do it for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's only 6 bolts there,
it's
Douglas.
It's not a big deal. Go ahead and do it, Alex.
That's right. Make it happen. Make it happen.
Yeah.
So this engine had to be literally completely disassembled, taken completely apart, virtually down to the bones.
Well, to the block.
To the block
in the head, but like timing cover, I think valve cover came off, oil pan, and obviously intake and a lot of the stuff. But it was basically more just the long block that we used, but I mean, it had good bones, right? So
and it's still running to this day.
Still running to this day.
And the client's happy, and you know, but that's a great story.
Yeah, you want to talk about a puzzle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was And people often wonder, how is it that you can have memory recall? Like you start a job on a Friday and then you come in on the Monday.
And especially when you don't think about it all weekend long.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you leave it at the door. Didn't you just say that? You leave it at the door.
Leave it at the door.
Yep.
When you come back Monday morning, you're like, crap. Yeah,
crap.
I forgot I got this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then anxiety.
No.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge, but it's all a matter of how you approach the challenge. As long as you don't go into panic mode and just, approach it rationally and with common sense. And it simplifies things. You don't have to complicate it.
That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
And we have our regular system at our shop, which is our digital inspections that we bring vehicles in. We don't just do oil changes. We're not your oil change shop. We're your maintenance shop. And we bring the vehicles in. They get a 70-point digital inspection. And that becomes pretty routine. But that in turn ensures that our clients' vehicles are being maintained properly as per what the manufacturer recommends. And it's not that we push heavily on them to do it. It's like, hey, this is what the manufacturer calls for. Green, yellow, red. Green is good. Yellow is recommended by the manufacturer or is coming due soon. And red is, hey, this is broke or this is going to break or this is an issue that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
So we do a very simple process at the shop. And
it's thorough.
It's very thorough. So let's talk a little bit about our process with because we're coming into seasonal tire changes now.
Yeah.
So when you come in for a seasonal tire change, how does that work through our shop?
Well, obviously, it doesn't matter who gets the car, but the car gets road tested.
Mm-hmm.
Every car will get road tested before and after the service. But before the service,
is that like Ferris Bueller's Day Off road test? Like we take it and put 200 kilometers on?
Taking the Ferrari over the hill crest there? No.
Taking around the block, the short block we call it.
Yeah, the short block. Just take it down the road, give it a shake side to side. If you hear any brake noises or wheel bearings or rattles or squeaks or clunks, and so when you bring it into the shop, put it up on the hoist. Obviously do light check on every car, wipers, washers, horn, all the safety stuff, the simple safety stuff, and then you lift it up. It's not just pulling the wheels off, it's shaking the front end, checking everything in the back, checking the condition of the tires, pulling the wheels off, having a look at the brakes, having a look at the suspension, CVs, anything out of the ordinary that's, it's not right. It's not just a tire swap. It's, be kind of thorough, and it's more to let the customer know the condition of the car.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure they'd want to know the condition of the car. Like that Mini that we had came in for a coolant leak, right? BMW Minis, they'll have like onboard maintenance minders, as a lot of the European cars do. So seeing this coolant leak needed a rad, and it needed additional things. If you look through the maintenance minder, it's like brakes are coming due and like they're getting low. According to the maintenance minder, it's like, well, we'll lift it up, we'll have a look at everything else. Pull the wheels, yeah, it needed brakes, and guess what? Not just the brake, it had a blown out strut on it, and it's like, okay, well, so yes, we can either go just for what the customer came in, being coolant leak, but say if the next time they come in for their oil change, it's like you need brakes all around, you need suspension, and they'd be like, well, I would have rather have known the whole picture
exactly right
before that, and so we give them a full estimate, making them aware of what their vehicle, the condition of their vehicle, before they put in this radiator that I don't know how much it cost, but I'm sure it wasn't cheap. And, just to make them aware so they can make an educated decision on,
do I want to invest in this vehicle or
Right.
do I want to dump it and get another vehicle? Like again, what's best for the car, what's best for the client.
right.
That's
As long as we can give the customer as much info as we can. Short of like we can't read minds. We don't have a magic mirror.
It's
where we
always a
can
game
see.
of hot potato, generally, because whoever had the car last
Yeah.
is to blame. So if we fix the rad, and then all of a sudden they got a brake noise in the back, like it was ever since. Well, this is why we say we have a process, and the courtesy inspection that we bring on for every vehicle that comes into the shop for a tire swap, as an example. So once we do the inspection, the tires come off. What else do we do with these tires? Do we just bag them? Do we even bag them? Do we just throw them in the back of the car? What's
The new ones,
the ones coming off?
everything comes off. They get labeled of where they came off.
Okay.
You know, we take tread depth measurement and all that.
Bingo.
Notice that on the inspections as well. If they're to the point where it's like last season, because winter tires generally have a winter wear bar in it. Like there's two types of wear bars. When the tire's just no good and you should be looking into getting new tires, winter tires will have one that's a little bit deeper than that. It's usually around, I think, the 5/32 mark.
Right.
And that's more the winter effectiveness bar. Like they'll be good, say if you're driving around, not a lot of snow. But if you get a lot of snow and there's not a lot of tread on the tires, you're not going to have a lot of tread to be able to channel out all that.
There's nothing I hate more than having to tell a customer that the all-season tires that we're taking off your vehicle has more tread than the winter tires that we're looking to put on, because you're a first-time customer to us, and the shop that took them off didn't tell you that there was no life left in these snow tires. We also check for DOT.
DOT,
Right.
tires expired, you know, check for weather cracking and that. But
Right.
I mean, when we're doing seasonal tire swaps too, obviously check tire pressure first to see if anything's gone drastically low over the winter. Every tire we do gets balanced, because we've had, I know when we started out, and it's the same across the industry, because if we're just swapping tires on and off, you know, it's gone 6 months. The customer doesn't really know how it drove before that. But if you get a car vibration, you guys just put my summer tires back on. Now I got a vibration.
Who's to blame?
Yeah, us.
And then it's a case of, now I'm angry. The shop screwed up my car.
Yeah.
And now I'm coming back. Now I'm angry. And now the shop gets to do it for free because we've already done it. And there's no proof. So every car that comes in
Gets tire balance.
gets a tire balance. And
Tire
and you know
pressure's
what?
checked.
We may not be the shop for everybody. And you may be looking for that $40, $50 tire swap. And by all means, there's lots of shops out there that'll do that.
But it's avoiding problems for us as well as avoiding problems for
What's
the customer.
best for the car, what's best for the client, what's best for the shop.
Not everybody's got time to keep dropping their car off to the shop for, you know, comebacks. We don't like comebacks.
Right. And our process with the tires coming off, we clean the hubs,
Clean the hubs.
and everything gets inspected. We send off the inspection to the client and let them know this is the situation. When the tires go on, like in this case, the summer tires are going to be going on, the all seasons. What's our torque procedure?
Depends what the manufacturer calls for. It's always what manufacturer specs.
So we have a chart for every
Yeah.
vehicle that's updated every year, and they get torqued on
Torqued on
at the hoist.
Yeah, torqued on at the hoist
By hand.
by hand. And then the vehicle gets road tested. When it comes back from the road test, we recheck the torque then too. Like obviously there's procedures a lot of shops go with, like drive it for a week or 100 or 200 kilometers, whatever.
Right, and bring it back.
Bring
How
it back
convenient
for
is
a
that?
retorque. Yeah, it's not convenient, but generally our way of doing it, we've never had issues with it, with our set plan and the way our procedure and the way we do it.
We did have one issue which caused us to set up this whole system.
That's the reason we have it.
That's the reason why we have it, and it's nothing to hide. I mean, human error happens, and one tire came loose.
Everybody will have it. Every shop that's in
For
the
sure.
industry.
But you hear these nightmares, and there's nothing, no bigger nightmare for a shop owner than to have that happen. And we set up that standard procedure, and this is our standard operating procedure in the shop. And a lot of the new guys that come in that are from other shops,
Think it's a load of crap. And
well, why are we doing this?
waste
This
of time, too
what a
much
waste of
work,
time. Yeah, you're spending like double the time on the car than you should,
Yeah.
and that's ridiculous.
that's
Well,
why we're not always the right shop for them.
that's very true. That's very true.
This is how we do things here, period.
Exactly.
It's not negotiable.
It is non-negotiable. So, the industry has changed. We touched on that.
Yeah.
We started, there was carburetors and points, and then we go to port fuel injection, multi-point fuel injection, now direct injection.
Yeah. Everything's changed. All in the pursuit for better fuel mileage, but all with that, more stresses on the engine. You got to kind of keep up the maintenance schedule though too. Properly maintained car.
That's the secret for getting the high mileage. Now you're a Honda guy.
I'm a Honda guy.
I don't think we need to hide that fact, even though whatever. To each their own. I got Mark, that's a Honda Acura guy. I got Drew, that's a Honda Acura guy. I got Greg, that worked at Honda for 30 plus years. I got Derek, that worked at Honda for 18 plus years.
Majority rules.
I guess. So, well, with that being said, the secret to longevity is just maintenance.
Maintenance.
Doing your services, maintaining your vehicle. Do your fluid changes, do your oil changes, do what the manufacturer recommends.
Also driving style too.
Okay.
Like people say do a lot of short trips.
Right.
Where the car doesn't get a lot of mileage. Car just sits
I see
outside.
what you mean. Yes.
Not in the garage. Yeah, you'll get rust build up on your brakes, or just a lot of cold trips where your engine doesn't even get the chance to come up to operating temperature.
Right.
That can be just as detrimental to a vehicle than lack of maintenance.
So your first vehicle that came when I hired you was a Accord?
The one with the engine was my first job. You mean?
No, the Honda Accord. That you were driving, your daily driver.
Yeah.
And what year was that?
It was a 91 Honda Accord.
And it was just broken in with...
Just broken. I didn't have a lot of K, just over 100. Yeah, granny owned, not a lot of K. It's a great little car.
And then you went to...
I bought...
Cinco de Mayo on the 5th of May.
Bought a 2010 Civic. Love that little thing. And great on gas. And again, synthetic oil changes since new. I gave it to my son to drive. Had about 395,000 K, almost 400,000 K, and he's been driving it for I think the last 4 years almost, and he's close to 5 now on it.
Original clutch.
Original clutch.
Yes.
Yeah, original clutch. Can't say that with much.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So the changes are happening in our industry more than any other trade, arguably. I mean, welding, woodworking, masonry, any other plumbing, electrical, they don't have the degree of upgrades that we have when it comes to technology and technological advances. I mean, we got cylinder deactivation for better fuel economy. That's just one more module to be thrown in there. A lot of the vehicles have more wires than a jet, to deal with all of the communication lines.
They get pretty complex. Like it's,
we've touched on getting into the MasterGuard theft deterrent system, which has opened our eyes to the wiring and how this plugs in and how these different electrical components can be affected.
Yeah, because it ties into the CAN lines, the communication network between all the modules and that. And all you got to do is basically, cut off communication from one, and it'll make other things just not work.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're not dealing with heavy gauge wire.
No.
Like tiny tiny wires, but there's hundreds of them all throughout the vehicles.
Yeah.
Right? So when we think about the future of our trade, and this is where the opening line of this was
well, I think the future of our trade, those wanting to get into the trade, I think this gen coming up now probably has more of an advantage, a step up, because everything computer-wise, software-wise, I mean, that's what their life is built on. They don't know anything else other than that. So I think depending on how much you'd be into computers and such, formatting and that, I think you'd already have a step up on things, because one thing that is not going to change in this trade, AI can only do so much, but AI will never replace a technician. You need the eyes, the feel, the observation, how does the car feel when you're road testing it, whether you're looking for, say, a misfire, how is it misfiring, or under what kind of load, or, AI will only do so much in throughout the possibilities and that, but it'll never, my opinion, it'll never take over a tech job. It can't. It can't. And yeah, you'll always need a technician with skills to be able to do it.
But AI has crept into our industry
Yeah.
to help resolve issues and help
It'll
find problems. We recently bought a scanner that turned out to be a bit of a dog. It wasn't an expensive scanner, but said let's give it a try, especially for the young guys, because it would give the flow chart automatically for
not quite a flow chart. It's just more throws out possibilities, but it'll throw out any possibility.
Right.
You know, starting with the simplest thing from like, say, battery to system voltage to charging system voltage to just anything.
Good for a shade tree home mechanic.
Yeah, that doesn't know anything about what they're doing.
Doesn't
but
have a clue. Yeah.
As far as like, say, from a tech's point of view, it doesn't have like, say, you know, the diagnostic steps to take it from where are already going through the basics. Because again, you know, like system voltage or charging system voltage, like if you got a bad battery, that can put off so many issues within different modules and that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, again, so AI will just throw it out there. But a tech kind of needs to know the basics and all that before you start your diagnostic steps.
But my point being that the grease monkey days of being an auto mechanic, I don't even think most people don't even use that term anymore, mechanic. It's more technician. And that's really what this trade is generating and going towards technicians that have to do research and have to know wiring diagrams and have to know programming and have to know all this stuff because the vehicle's dynamic is changing. When you think about, you know, there's no replacement for displacement was when we were coming up, the bigger the block, the more the horsepower,
Yeah.
the better. But now we've got like Honda, their 1.4 liter turbo. Here, Honda,
1.5.
I'm sorry, 1.5.
Yeah.
They don't have the 1.4. Who has the 1.4? Chevy.
1.4,
you know, turbo.
Yeah.
And the turbo's not like turbos from the 80s. Like we're talking like tiny little turbos.
But it builds the pressure.
But builds the pressure and creates the horsepower out of these units.
But again, it's all driving style. Like I drive mine. I have a CRV.
I'm not knocking
1.5.
it. You're getting defensive here. Whoa,
No.
whoa.
Not defensive.
Whoa. Honda's great product. I don't want to get
mine's,
sued.
Mine's going great without issues.
It's going great. But my point is the technological advances continue to grow. And the boogeyman in the room, so to speak, the white elephant in the room is electric vehicles. Let's talk about that.
Let's not. Do we have to? I don't like
Senior technician tells his opinion on
my opinion. So I'm not a fan of EVs. I'm not a fan of hybrid vehicles. Yeah, it's a different way. It's a different animal. They have the.
You don't want to save the environment. Come on.
In what way are you saving the environment? Okay, like how do you recycle?
The opinions expressed in the following are not necessarily those of Urban Automotive.
Yeah.
It's like I got to state that to clear.
Don't
Go
worry,
ahead.
I'll cover my shirt. How do you recycle a lithium-ion battery? Used, depleted.
I think they're working on it.
But
They're working on it.
right now they haven't.
No, it's true.
You know, when you have the cost of these lithium-ion batteries at 10,000 plus, sometimes 30, 35,000, I still remember, I think it was like in the 2000s, they had performed a study on carbon footprints and what leaves the biggest carbon footprint. And it was a Prius against a regularly serviced Hummer H2. Those great big trucks.
That's a big vehicle.
Truck. It is a big vehicle.
Yep.
But a regularly served, they out of all their, you know, investigative, you know, details and that, a regularly serviced Hummer H2 has a smaller carbon footprint than the Prius. And it's mainly more.
We need to fact check that.
That's fine. You'd have to go back to the proper facts of the time.
Okay.
But anyways, that's what I'm going off, and I believe it because, like, mining the minerals and that for these batteries, isn't exactly environmentally friendly. What it's doing to the earth, disposing of these batteries when they're depleted and cannot be recycled properly into.
I don't think that the intent is there for vehicles like Tesla and these BYD Chinese vehicles that are now going to be coming into our country to be a long-term vehicle. They're not going to be restoring these vehicles like we are from the 60s and 70s and 80s to try to keep them as classics. These are disposable vehicles.
Yeah.
They're meant to be utilitarian, and that's it. Like, you use them, use up the lifespan, and then they are junked.
Yeah. So you can recycle their plastics, their aluminums, their steels,
Right.
their composites.
Right.
But the motors, pull all the wiring out of it. But the batteries, what's like, to me, that's the issue is with the batteries.
Wow.
And again, it's just my thought. It's just.
I know you were in the shop yesterday. Did you see anybody walking through?
Yeah.
Who was walking through?
The electrician.
Electrician.
Use, yeah.
Any idea what he was doing?
I've got an idea because, from what I heard is we're putting in a charging
What you heard?
station.
Wait a second. What did you hear? What did you hear?
It was more because somebody working at the front was looking at plugs and all that for what you can use for a charging station, and lead me to think is like, okay, we're putting in a freaking charging station here.
We are.
Yeah.
We're putting in a stage 2 charging station at the front of the shop.
Yeah.
We have clients that have Teslas and electric vehicles that need Mitsubishis and various brands that could use a charge while they're here.
Yeah.
While we work on their vehicle, top them up, give a little top up.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's your shop. I don't own the place.
It's true. It's true. So you ready for this one?
What?
We got a new shuttle vehicle coming.
And hybrid?
It's an EV. All electric.
Are you serious?
Yeah, buddy. Pick it up Friday.
This is how you tell me?
This is how I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get your reaction so that everybody sees.
I think everybody wants yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Well, I got to put my money where my mouth is because I got so many clients coming in asking, what do I recommend? What do you think? And I'm like,
awful big mouth.
Exactly. And I say, look, you're going to spend an awful lot of money on an EV, and it's not going to get you the range necessarily. It's a great second vehicle. Let's talk about a secondary vehicle. But if you're looking, you should be looking at maybe an entry-level EV to see before you spend the big money. Let's look at an entry-level.
What's considered an entry level?
A Fiat 500e.
Electric?
All electric. Yeah. Buddy, she's a beauty. I call her Penny because it's not going to cost a penny in fuel to drive people around anymore.
Yeah, no, electricity's free.
Well, it's going to be, the electrician recommends or suggests that based on the battery size, we'll be looking at about $4 a day for a charge if we charge it every single day. That's pretty good. Took it out for a spin, lots of power, very fast off the line.
So I could say that my CRV takes $4 a day to fuel me back and forth to work.
I think a little more than that, but
yeah, price of gas has gone
yeah,
up.
the price of gas has gone up. Yeah. Price of gas has gone up, but our little EV's the greenest EV out there. The seat fabric's made from recycled ocean plastic. True story.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. It's made from garbage. It's honest to God. That's what got my attention. I'm like, that is awesome.
Oh, God knows.
And every sale of the 500e, a portion went to Bono, to his charity for, the singer Bono.
No, yeah.
Well,
Familiar.
For
He's got a song or two.
one or two, yeah, one hit wonder. To his charity for disease, HIV and related diseases to go towards. So, got a heck of a deal. It's a demo, has 4,000 on her.
You're not going to sweeten this deal for me. Like this.
So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Just
Be able to cart
remember
one client around. I think we're going to call it the Urban Escape Pod. I was thinking about this last night.
Yeah, these are not the droids you're looking for.
The Escape Pod. Exactly right.
Well,
Exactly right.
as I'm sure maybe your parents used to tell you and all that, I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed. Disappointed.
Let's see, buddy. We were the only shop in town that had a Cadillac for a shuttle. So now we'll. I don't know how many shops out there have EVs. I doubt very many.
Oh boy.
Because as my man Derek advises me, well, you know what? We're a maintenance shop, and you're sending the wrong message by owning an electric vehicle. But we have a lot of clients that are very conscious on the environment, and
Is this a buy or a lease?
this is a buy. We purchased it. So
We can't just give it back after a few.
well,
years.
we can. If I mean, who knows? It might be junk. I don't know. The research I've done, they're pretty solid. So let's
I don't
see.
know how long they've been out there, but I guess we're gonna find out.
2024, they did the launch in Canada, and they had 3 cities. They had Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal. So Penny comes from Quebec. So
If you're gonna be driving it, then you're gonna be putting it through its test because I know you don't drive light.
what do you mean?
Because I see you fly past me in the fast lane down the highway, and I'm.
In what vehicle?
It doesn't matter which vehicle. Every vehicle. It didn't matter if it was this. I'm driving 110, 120, either slow lane, middle lane, where it stretches out past Centennial.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter if it was the smart car, the Fiat, the truck. Almost like I'm standing still going down the fast lane there. It's like, okay. You do not drive anything light.
Well, let's see what the range is. They complained about the range on it. We'll see.
See what the range is with your foot.
Well, the bigger scope of things, Drew, is the industry is changing and we have to adapt, because if we don't adapt, we're going to have issues. And whether we like it or not, and whether it happens in our time or not, our trade is leaning towards new technologies, like electric being the hot topic right now. And some say it's dying, and some saying it's on the back burner now because of the current administration across North America. They're not focused on it. But the reality is they've signed an agreement here for our country to bring in 49,000 Chinese models into Canada starting this year. BYD is a major manufacturer that has surpassed Tesla for electric vehicle sales. Based in China.
But is it more because of price point? Just
For sure. You can't compare apples to apples. You're not dealing fairly with the process. I mean, they don't pay their people like they pay in America, and there's the largest part. But people don't give a darn about that. Most people just look at price point. Let's be honest. Like, a young family, if I can get a vehicle that looks like a Land Rover, handles and has the capabilities of Tesla as far as range and everything, and I can get that in a package that apparently is going to be under 35 grand.
Yeah. Possibly.
I don't care. I'm going to take it. I'm going to get it.
Only those that want to go to the dark side.
Listen, the filthy rumor that I'm hearing is that these entry-level BYD vehicles are going to be under the 20 grand Canadian mark.
Are you serious?
Yeah, which is lower than the cheapest ICE vehicle, the internal combustion engine vehicle out there, which is like the Nissan Micra. So you're going to have people interested in buying these. And the big question is the support that we're going to have as far as aftermarket parts for these, what kind of proprietary rules and regulations are these vehicles going to have? Like how they're going to get government tested, I have no idea so quickly to get them out. I know that BYD is looking for dealers already in the Toronto area. We have BYD fire trucks and BYD city buses that are throughout Canada already. So it's not like they're here today, gone tomorrow company. They are a fast-growing global company that is well established in Europe and Asia. So it's the reality that it's not coming, it's here.
But what about, say, I don't know if it's infrastructure, but like say transmission lines, because not everybody in their home can have a charging station, or say if these larger vehicles and all that, the grid can only handle so much.
My wheelhouse ends here. I mean, I can't tell you. I'm not a politician. I'm not a big huge businessman that invests millions. It's just the reality. Yeah, you and I both know that it can't. The system just
Not right
currently
now.
the current system can't. But somehow they're going to make this work. So it's
At least give it a try.
give it a try, and we'll see. But the end result is it going to be all proprietary like our Teslas that, when we first started doing tire changes on Teslas and people got secondary sets of rims that they bought, we couldn't get the sensors for them. And we couldn't supply the sensors for them.
And Tesla wouldn't even sell them to us.
And that Tesla would not sell them to aftermarket shops because we're not the owner of the vehicle.
Yeah, they're cornering their market.
So they had to, if you owned a Tesla, you had to go to Tesla to get the sensors from them, pay their full fee, and bring it to shops like us to install. Now, things have improved since then, but I don't know if their new models are the same, but everything will come with time. That aftermarket will creep in there, and eventually I'll have Dorman up here, and we'll be chatting about that.
No.
Your favorite, yeah.
No.
Derek will be coming on, buddy. We'll be chatting with Dorman. But anyway, it's if that's going to be locked in, then people are going to be. It's definitely going to affect our industry as far as independent shops, because people will only be able to go to the dealer because of the right to repair, and if it's proprietary. A proprietary situation that we're dealing with where the dealers have locked in and are not releasing any information for us to do any maintenance or repairs on these vehicles, it's definitely going to affect, and these vehicles are not like the Yugo. Remember the Yugo?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Yugo back in the 80s.
That was the joke of the industry.
For sure. They were like $1,000, $2,000 car, and everybody was going to buy them up, but they were such junk boxes that they were terrible. And there were some dealerships that if you bought a car, you got a Yugo. Remember that?
But also when Hyundai came into the market too, like early 80s.
Exactly.
They were the bottom of the barrel when it came.
I hate to tell you this, but Honda was too, buddy. Honda was too back in the 70s. Yeah, they were low end. Yeah, they weren't thought very highly of.
I think it was more the stigma of the Japanese cars.
For sure.
And it was more the oil shortage back then too. Everybody turned to
that's what pushed them.
4-cylinder Japanese cars that were good on
But
gas.
what was their biggest fault? It wasn't mechanical. It was their bodies. They rotted. If
they fixed that. They had a couple years.
They did have a couple years. I remember Nissan. If you let it sit overnight beside grass, it was rotted out by morning. Like it was like that was the joke there. Like in the 70s, it was. Yeah, that's why a lot of these cars aren't survivors, because they rot out more than they mechanically fail. But that being said, these BYDs, if you research them and look at what they look beautiful. Their cars, they look solid. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
Interesting, yes. Good choice of words.
Well,
there'll still be the stubborn petrol heads like me that just really don't want anything to do with the EVs and that. It's
once you get behind Penny, you'll be.
That will never happen.
You'll see, buddy. You'll see.
I won't even drive that thing out of the shop.
You'll be sold.
I don't think so.
You'll be like, wow,
I don't think so.
this is so cheap. This is so amazing.
Remember that show, Home Improvement?
Yeah.
I don't think so, Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To each their own.
Yes.
To each their own.
Yes.
Evolution is constant. Time is the only constant. So it's
Change is the only constant.
change is the only constant. It's going to be interesting for our industry, and we need individuals that want to come into the industry, want to learn, want to grow, are open to new ideas, not closed-minded petrol heads.
Thank God for the new gen.
Open, and inquisitive,
Yeah.
I think is important.
Curious minds.
Curious minds will make all the changes for sure. So, Drew, I want to thank you for taking the time to come up and speak. And
No problem.
can I have you on again? We'll call it like the
We'll see how this
the old guys podcast
Yeah.
or something.
We'll see how this goes.
I get an awful lot of feedback from Ask Mike. So if there's any questions and stuff that I can't answer, I'll be sure to bring you up on board.
I'll have to check my schedule.
And see for sure.
Don't get duped up here to be told you're buying an EV.
And it's a surprise, so don't let anybody else know.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to show up here Friday, and we'll have it parked out front.
So when everybody else will be like, "Did you know about this?"
You have no idea until they see the podcast.
Yeah, when are you wearing this?
There you go.
Friday.
And that's another episode of the You Ought to Know podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure you subscribe, follow, and share it with someone who loves their car as much as you do. If you got a question, send it through Ask Mike section of our website. And remember, safety first, because when it comes to your vehicle, you ought to know. Have a great day, everybody.